And as a source told our Adam Schefter, quote, once you stay at Jerry's house, he doesn't lose his guy. Take that as you will. We welcome in Dan Graziano, our insider extraordinaire, with the very latest on the Cowboys coaching staff. We know now who their head coach is going to be. Who will be surrounding him?
The defensive coordinator is going to be Mike Nolan, who was the head coach with the 49ers back when McCarthy was their offensive coordinator before he went to Green Bay. So they have a connection, obviously, and this will be interesting to see how this comes together, whether they, stay in a 4-3, switch to a 3-4, what kind of changes there are. But I think you'll see a different kind of defense than what we've seen under Rod Marinelli the last couple of years with the Tampa 2. Cowboys want to be more of an attacking defense. They really weren't happy with the way they played defense and got after quarterbacks this year. So we'll see what kind of changes Mike Nolan brings, what kind of staff he puts around him there on the defensive side of the ball. The offensive side, I think, is where there are the really interesting questions. Do they keep Kellen Moore and John Kitna? Does McCarthy have his own people he wants to bring in? And I think that's what we're watching closely. My understanding is that Jerry and Stephen Jones think very highly of Kellen Moore, John Kitna, members of that offensive staff, and that they could conceivably make a pitch to McCarthy to keep him, but ultimately they are going to let McCarthy pick his own coaches, and it could mean those guys. It could mean somebody coming in from the outside. Ben McAdoo was there with him for 8 or 9 years before McAdoo left for the Giants. So you look at McCarthy connections throughout the league, and we'll see what comes together on that side of the ball as well.
All right, that's well done, Dan Graziano. Thank you very much, and we'll check back with you, my man. But I want to take it right here because as he was saying that, I was seeing out of the corner of my eye, Marcus and Bart, you both started nodding your heads vigorously. Why?
Because it's a sign that you're giving him the power that he needs. Look, we are fresh off a conversation of Jason Garrett saying, you didn't let me put my people in position or run this how I wanted to. So to step in the right direction, if you feel like you've gotten the coach you want, give him the power to do what you think he can do to get you to where you're trying to go. That's a good start for sure of letting him hire his own people.
I also was nodding because I love Mike Nolan. A lot of people know him as the San Francisco 49ers coach, but I know him as the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, where he converted them from a 4-3 to a 3-4, a much more aggressive attacking style of defense. I think that really can make a team or a unit that's not aggressive with their calls and their philosophies. He's going to hold them accountable. I mean, you talk about a unit that only had 7 interceptions because you're sitting back in that predictable cover 3. Everybody knows where to go. Everybody knows where the holes are. You throw the 15-yard deep out, and you can complete it every day on Sundays. You know what I mean? So Mike Nolan's going to make them aggressive. He's going to make them have an attitude, and they're going to have an identity. I didn't know what their identity was defensively last year.
It'll be a different philosophy. The identity of the Dallas Cowboys and Rod Marinelli has always been to create pressure and turnovers. Like they live by that, a bend but don't break type of defense. And they were good in the red zone a couple of years ago, but they were fortunate also, Bart, from how they rushed the football. This defense wasn't playing 60 to 70 plays every single game. We watched Dallas defense get carved up for overexposure a lot of the times, just being on the field.
But that means they're not good. I mean, you should be able to go. I mean, if you're paid to stop people.
I got you.
Let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase on this. Mike McCarthy is taking a job where the owner did not want to make a change. He showed you through his actions for years he did not want to make a change, but felt he had to because he believes, many pundits believe, and the fans clearly believe, that he has a roster that is capable of making a Super Bowl run right now. So how much pressure is there on McCarthy to win right away? How much leash does he have?
His leash isn't big. I mean, there's pressure for this team to not only make the playoffs next year, but be playing this Sunday next year. That's part of the reason why they made the comment, we want a head coach that's got extensive NFL coaching experience, because Jerry Jones knows this is a playoff roster. This is a championship caliber roster. Now, he's not going to inherit the same team that Jason Garrett had. Like, they've got to figure out who's going to play receiver for him, because Amari Cooper is a free agent, and Randall Cobb is a free agent, and Jason Witten, is he going to be there? So there are some pieces there, but Mike McCarthy is a coach that not only because he's the head coach of the Cowboys, but the Cowboys roster, the way it's constructed, they need to at least be in the playoffs next year for Jerry Jones to feel comfortable going into 2021.
You know this Cowboys organization so well. The expectations of these fans is that McCarthy's got to come here and win a Super Bowl. How long would you say that he has to get that accomplished?
It's better be some magnificent signs this year, because here's the thing. It's not about can Mike McCarthy get you there. It's the circumstances in which Mike McCarthy is coming in under, right? To Dan's point, what he just talked about with this roster. This is not one of those situations where you bringing in a coach and you say, I'm giving you time to groom, implement, get the right type of guys and rebuild. Jerry Jones hired Mike McCarthy to go to the Super Bowl, not the NFC Championship, not to get in the playoffs. He hired Mike McCarthy to get the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl.
We've been on this show all year, and you've said the only thing that has not changed recently in Dallas is what?
Coach.
The coach. So now Jerry Jones has made the coach. So there's no more excuses for those players to not get this done.
This is his John Gruden, right? When Tony Dungy couldn't get Tampa Bay over the hump, they brought in John Gruden. He was under pressure to win immediately. They're in their window because once you pay Dak Prescott, you're going to lose, some of this great offensive linemen and some of these plethora of all these extra talented pieces that you have.
Quick history lesson for those who don't know what Bart is talking about. They moved out Tony Dungy, they moved in John Gruden, and they won the Super Bowl that year. That's the kind of